Welcome to the longest running human angle program in Nigeria, Newsline. I am Jennifer Igwe. As usual, we have a bountiful supply of impact stories on our lineup today. The death of one's husband and life after his demise should not be that of condemnation laced with dehumanizing experiences. Sadly, it is still the order of the day in some parts of the country. Our report on this is worth telling for needed impact. Then jungle justice, no doubt, is barbaric. And the irony of such mob action is that judgment is meted out on victims by many who have no clue what the law says and may not even be law-abiding themselves. And although some lynched during such mob actions may truly be guilty, taking laws into one's hands makes those perpetrating jungle justice equally criminals. How can this ugly trend be checked? Stay on the line to find out. Then the travail of someone battling with a life-threatening ailment, a baby who was sold by some heartless individuals, and a centenarian who attended celebrity status just because of a letter, and other interesting stories are on cue just for you. We also have initiatives by brands and corporate organizations, including a social diary and stories that showcase our rich cultural heritage. Now you see why I say our package today is loaded. But I'll stop here so that my colleague, Claire Adelabu Abdurazak, will take the news for the day. Hello, Claire.
Give you a clap. Thank you. And indeed, Newsline is heading for GG Records. Hello and welcome. Let's get on with the news now. And President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed the conviction that with the recent measures put in place, the Boko Haram insurgency will be contained sooner than later. Now, he said this in audience with renowned Islamic scholar and leader of Tijaniya movement in Nigeria, Sheikh Tahiru Usman Bauchi, at his official residence. President Buhari says although the situation is not peculiar to Nigeria, the federal government will not relent until the menace is brought under control. He directs the nation's military and other security services to be more proactive, decisive, and if need be, ruthless in smoking and effectively taking out the criminal elements. President Buhari, however, called on Nigerians to be more understanding and supportive with intelligence and prayers, and also reassures Nigerians that justice will not be compromised in the implementation of the next level agenda. On its part, Sheikh Tahiru Usman Bauchi, alongside his children, commiserated with the president over the recent killing of Nigerians by Boko Haram in Borno State and assured the president that members of the Tijaniya movement in Nigeria will continue to support genuine efforts at making Nigeria better with prayers for divine intervention. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that special prayers were offered for the nation and its leaders during the visit. And about 30 people have been killed by armed bandits and properties worth millions of naira destroyed at Sanwa and Dankar villages in Batsari local government area of Katsina State. Abdul Malik Hassan reports that the bandits stormed the villages at midnight Friday.
The residents of the two villages have since the emergence of the insurgency been living in a relative peace. However, the attack by the armed bandits on the residents on Friday have changed the mood of the two villages, Dankar and Zanwa. As at the time NT News visited the villages, they were in total silence, the remaining people looking gloomy and brooding over the unfortunate midnight attack. The inferno led to the death of 13 people, including women and infant children, and remaining 17 trying to escape the fire were shot dead in the villages. They stormed the villages, locked down the residents who are sleeping in their houses and set the houses ablaze. They destroyed our properties and now we are homeless. NTA News observed that some of those left have fled the villages to another safe place. The Katsina State Police Commissioner Sanusububa visited the area to assess the level of damage.
And no network here, and then also the distance and the bad road. That notwithstanding, they were able to come and engage them to a large extent. His Excellency has done his best in ensuring that sanity is brought to bear.
He said critical investigation will be carried out to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book. The attack was coming less than 2 months since the state government restricted the motorcycles from the hours of 7 p.m. in the evening to 6 o'clock in the morning.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the latest round of attacks on farmers by bandits in Dankar and Sanwa villages in Batsari local government area of Katsina State, warning that killing people in the name of revenge is unacceptable. Reacting to the incident, which destroyed many homes and killed much more over the weekend, the president warns that no one in the country has a right to take laws into their own hands by way of self-help or revenge. The president emphasized that local communities should hand over suspects to law enforcement authorities instead of meting out capital punishment, which creates a cycle of revenge and counter-revenge. He urged community leaders and the local authorities to continue to partner with law enforcement agencies that engender peace between farmers and herders, adding that authorities must be allowed to investigate and deal with any breach that occurs. There is no place for violence in a decent society. President Buhari prayed God to comfort families that have lost loved ones in their attacks and repose the souls of the victims. And Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, says that training and retraining of personnel underscores the desire of the force to win the fight against insurgency and other forms of criminality in the country. And it is in this regard that the Nigerian Air Force graduated 2,079 personnel after undergoing 6 months of military training. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports.
This is the moment they have been waiting for after 24 weeks of intensive military training. The recruits are equipped with the required skills to discharge their responsibility of protecting the territorial integrity of the country. The reviewing officer of the parade and chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, re-emphasized the readiness of the force to bring to an end attacks by Boko Haram in the northeast.
The Nigerian Air Force had made some remarkable strides in its restructuring efforts. The establishment of the Special Operations Command was carefully considered to address the challenges of asymmetric warfare, such as the one posed by Boko Haram terrorists.
A number of prestigious awards were presented to the personnel who distinguished themselves, including Chief of the Air Staff Award won by Recruit Muhammad. Meanwhile, to provide a decent accommodation for the personnel, the Chief of Air Staff inaugurated 3 blocks of flats built for airmen instructors. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
In Lagos, traders at the popular Akbogbo market again witnessed another fire incident this Sunday. 6 containers loaded with different alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks exploded. Diana Ajale reports that the fire was curtailed through efforts of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency and other related agencies on ground.
Lagos State is a commercial hub with over 20 million people, but yet faced with frequent fire outbreak and building collapse, especially around the markets area. The fire outbreak, which occurred Sunday morning, affected 6 containers of various drinks. According to eyewitnesses, it was as a result of overheating from the containers.
We don't think it's all that much. We are even scared that all this place is in danger. So, but by the grace of God, the thing is just few.
We thank God for Lagos State Fire Service. You know, they came at the right time.
Director General, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, advised the public to be mindful of hazardous flammable goods.
The fire affected about 6 containers and we're able to curtail the spread of the fire, and you can see that we are on top of the challenges and we are putting off the fire.
No casualty was recorded before the fire was curtailed. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
And in other stories, the Minister of State Petroleum and former Governor of Bayelsa State, Timi Silva, has called on Bayelsans to shun all acts of violence and lawlessness over the Supreme Court's judgment on the state governorship election, stressing that such temptations must be resisted in the greater interests of Bayelsa and the country. Silva, in a statement, apologizes to President Muhammadu Buhari, the First Lady, and members of their entourage who had prepared to witness the inauguration of the APC candidate for any inconvenience caused by the development. The leadership of the All Progressives Congress, APC, he says, has directed its team of legal experts to study the situation critically and prefer legal options available to the party accordingly. The minister therefore urges all to remain faithful to and have confidence in the wisdom and ability of the party leadership to provide direction at this very sensitive time. He assures the president and the APC hierarchy that despite the temporary setback, APC in Bayelsa State remains strong and its members resolute in support of the ideals as envisioned by President Muhammadu Buhari. Now, the advocacy to improve the welfare of women, youths and children in Africa has taken some steps forward. And this is with the launch of the foundation of the First Lady of Equatorial Guinea, Constancia Mange Nsue Okomo. And Nigeria's First Lady Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, who was the special guest at the event, was so excited at the initiative as it expresses the mutual interest of the two First Ladies to serve humanity. Here is State House correspondent Aliu Kabiri with the rest of the report.
The desire of improving the status of vulnerable groups, vast majority women and children, is the central objective of the Nigeria's First Lady Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. Collaboration towards achieving this goal is paramount. Therefore, the invitation of the Equatorial Guinean First Lady Constancia Mange Nzokomo for the launch of our foundation is a step in that regard. On arrival at the Equatorial Guinea International Airport in Malabo, the First Lady of Nigeria was received by the Nigerian ambassador to the Republic of Equatorial Guinea, Toko Ali Gonglong, and proceeded to the venue of the launch of the program, with all efforts centered towards upgrading the living standards of women and children in Africa. The First Lady of Nigeria had all the stage to share her successes in improving the lives of Nigerian women and children through the Aisha Buhari Foundation and Future Assured program.
Over the last 4 years, we have focused on the well-being of women, children, and the vulnerable people, especially in the areas of health, education, empowerment, protection against abuse, supporting government actions, and partnering with relevant stakeholders.
While expressing gratitude for honoring the invitation, the First Lady of Equatorial Guinea, Constancia Mange Nzokomo, reaffirmed her commitment to the cause of women and children, stressing that she will continue to collaborate with the Nigeria's First Lady and her initiatives, which serves as a model. In Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
And in Ebonyi State, the UN Women is introducing an empowerment scheme envisaged to harness potentials inherent in the rice value chain. Now, the initiative is to strengthen the agricultural sector for maximum output, as reported by Chika Okore.
UN Women Flagship Scheme will provide modern agricultural techniques, improve seedlings and post-harvest infrastructure to reduce wastages, especially in rice value chain. For the beneficiaries, the project is a dream come true, as drudgery will soon be a thing of the past.
But I'm very grateful that I'm one of the beneficiaries. This program will enable us to get more.
On behalf of the governor, Dr. Kelechi Gwen wants the development partners to take into cognizance the peculiarities of Ebonyi, where women empowerment has advanced through resolute efforts matched with visible actions.
We're doing well in trying to elevate our women to the status of entrepreneurs. as a state government, we shall give all the support that UN Women in Nigeria requires.
Mainstreaming women, who contribute over 60% agricultural workforce, will result in reducing food insecurity, promote employment opportunities, income generation, enhance the standard of living, as well as strengthen the federal government's economic recovery and growth plan.
This particular program that we're launching today is part of our work here to help the government of Nigeria and Ebonyi State in particular to advance the SDGs.
The program steering committee was inaugurated to build stronger synergy among stakeholders towards promoting women economic empowerment through climate-resilient agribusiness and closing gender gap. In Abakaliki, Chika Ukore, NCN News.
And story just in now, it says 4 persons are feared dead from a car accident involving 2 trucks which collided at Kugbo on the outskirts of Abuja, the federal capital city. The accident is said to have occurred at about 2 o'clock this afternoon and also caused several hours of gridlock and unbearable hardship for commuters. Our correspondent Lucia Adegbo is still working on the story. We'll bring it as soon as it is ready. Let's go on to sports now, and local debut